cannot marry him!
The happiest day of my life became the beginning of my worst nightmare. The man standing beside me at the altar was once my best friend's fiancé. She smiled through my entire wedding, hugged me, and even caught my bouquet. But when the wedding photographer handed me the pictures 3 days later, I noticed someone standing in the background of one photo. Growing up, everyone believed Zara and Amaka were sisters. Although they weren't related by blood, they had been inseparable since primary school. They wore matching dresses to birthday parties, shared lunchboxes during break time, and even defended each other whenever classmates tried to bully one of them. Zara came from a modest home where every achievement required sacrifice, while Amaka lived comfortably because her parents owned several successful businesses. Yet their different backgrounds never seemed to matter. Amaka often insisted that whatever belonged to her belonged to Zara as well. Whenever Zara's family struggled financially, Amaka's mother quietly paid school fees without expecting gratitude. Their friendship became famous throughout the neighborhood, and everyone admired the bond they shared. Even Zara's late grandmother once smiled and said, "Real sisters are not always born from the same mother." As they entered university, nothing appeared to change. They attended lectures together, studied late into the night, celebrated birthdays side by side, and dreamed about becoming successful women who would remain neighbors even after marriage. They laughed over imaginary future husbands and promised that whichever one got married first would make the other her maid of honor. Looking back years later, Zara would realize there had been tiny warning signs hidden beneath Amaka's perfect smile. Sometimes, Amaka became strangely possessive whenever Zara made new friends. She often found clever ways to end Zara's romantic relationships before they became serious, always claiming she was protecting her. Zara mistook that behavior for loyalty. She had no idea someone could hide jealousy behind kindness for so many years. Then, one rainy afternoon, Amaka introduced her to the man who would unknowingly destroy everything.
His name was Daniel. He was calm, respectful, and carried himself with the quiet confidence of a man who knew exactly who he was. The moment Amaka introduced him as her fiancé, Zara genuinely felt happy for her friend. Daniel treated Amaka with patience, opened doors for her, remembered tiny details about her favorite foods, and spoke about their future with excitement. During dinner, Zara noticed how different he was from the arrogant men many of her friends dated. She secretly thanked God that someone as kind as Daniel had found her best friend. Before leaving that evening, Amaka hugged Zara tightly and whispered, "You two are going to become great friends. I can already tell." Zara laughed, believing those words came from innocent excitement. She never imagined they were the first move in a carefully planned game. Over the following months, Amaka constantly invited Zara whenever she and Daniel planned outings. What started as occasional lunches slowly became movie nights, road trips, church programs, birthdays, and weekend hangouts. Sometimes, Amaka mysteriously cancelled at the last minute, asking Zara to accompany Daniel instead because she was too busy. At first, Zara refused, insisting it would look inappropriate, but Amaka kept laughing away her concerns. "He's practically your brother already," she would tease. Daniel also seemed uncomfortable with the arrangement initially, yet after repeated encouragement from Amaka, the awkwardness slowly disappeared. Before long, Zara and Daniel had developed a genuine friendship built on harmless conversations and mutual respect. Neither of them realized someone was quietly watching every interaction with satisfaction. Exactly 8 months after introducing Daniel to Zara, Amaka shocked everyone. She called both of them to a cafe and calmly announced that the wedding was cancelled. Daniel stared at her in disbelief, while Zara struggled to process what she had just heard. Without anger or tears,
Amaka removed her engagement ring and gently placed it on the table. She claimed she no longer loved Daniel and believed it would be unfair to marry someone her heart had already left. Daniel begged for an explanation, reminding her of the dreams they built together. She simply smiled sadly and repeated, "Sometimes love ends." No matter how many questions they asked, Amaka refused to explain further. The breakup devastated Daniel. Weeks passed before he could return to work properly. Zara frequently called Amaka, hoping to help her through the heartbreak she assumed her friend was hiding. Surprisingly, Amaka sounded happier than expected. She even joked that single life suited her better. Then one evening, she said something that caught Zara completely off guard. "Daniel needs someone who truly understands him," she said casually. "Honestly, I think you would make a better wife for him than I ever could." Zara immediately rejected the idea and accused Amaka of making terrible jokes. But Amaka kept repeating the same suggestion over the following weeks until it no longer sounded like a joke. Instead, it began to feel like permission. Months passed after the broken engagement. Daniel slowly rebuilt his life, focusing on work while avoiding serious relationships. During that period, Zara occasionally checked on him because she genuinely felt guilty watching someone so kind suffer. Their conversations remained respectful and innocent at first, usually lasting only a few minutes. Yet those few minutes gradually became long evening phone calls about life, grief, family, and forgotten dreams. Daniel admired Zara's compassion, while Zara discovered a side of him she had never seen during his relationship with Amaka. Behind his calm personality was a man carrying old wounds, silent fears, and remarkable kindness. Against her own expectations, she found herself smiling whenever his name appeared on her phone. Instead of becoming upset, Amaka encouraged the growing friendship. She even invited both of them to events together, teasing them in front of mutual friends. "You two look good standing beside each other," she laughed one afternoon. Every time Zara expressed discomfort, Amaka dismissed it completely. "I ended that relationship," she reminded her. "You didn't steal anyone." Those words slowly dissolved Zara's guilt. Nearly a year after the engagement ended, Daniel finally confessed his feelings. Before answering, Zara visited Amaka privately, determined to receive her blessing one final time. Amaka hugged her tightly, cried happy tears, and whispered, "I've been praying for this day." Zara left that house convinced she had the most selfless friend in the world. She never noticed the strange smile that appeared on Amaka's face after the front door closed. Their wedding became one of the happiest days Zara had ever experienced. Friends traveled from different cities to celebrate them. Daniel's family welcomed Zara with open arms, believing destiny had simply redirected two good people toward each other after unexpected heartbreak. The church echoed with laughter, music, and joyful prayers as the couple exchanged vows. Standing proudly beside the bride as maid of honor was Amaka herself, smiling in every photograph and cheering louder than anyone else. Guests praised her maturity, calling her an extraordinary woman for supporting the marriage of her former fiancé. Zara felt overwhelmed with gratitude and silently thanked God for blessing her with such an understanding friend. 3 days later, the wedding photographer delivered hundreds of beautifully edited photographs. Zara and Daniel spent the evening laughing as they relived every beautiful moment. Then, Zara stopped scrolling. One photograph taken just after they exchanged rings captured something unusual in the far background near the church gate. Hidden behind a tree stood a man wearing a black coat and dark sunglasses, despite the bright afternoon sun. He wasn't looking at the ceremony. He was staring directly at Amaka, and Amaka was secretly smiling back. Confused, Zara zoomed into the image. At that exact moment, her phone vibrated with a message from an unknown number. Congratulations on marrying the man she prepared for you. The game has only just begun.
Zara's fingers froze around her phone as she reread the anonymous message over and over again. Congratulations on marrying the man she prepared for you. The game has only just begun. Her heartbeat became uneven. Daniel noticed the color drained from her face and quickly asked what was wrong, but Zara forced a smile and claimed she had only received a strange spam text. She wasn't ready to ruin the joy of their honeymoon with something that might simply be a cruel prank. Still, curiosity refused to leave her alone. She zoomed into the wedding photograph again. The mysterious man in the black coat stood partially hidden behind a large tree near the church entrance. Although the image was blurry, one detail stood out clearly. His eyes weren't focused on the bride or groom. They were fixed entirely on Amaka. Even stranger, Amaka seemed to be smiling back at the exact moment the picture was taken. It didn't look accidental. It looked like recognition. That night, while Daniel slept peacefully beside her, Zara quietly opened social media and searched through Amaka's old photographs, hoping to find the stranger somewhere in her friend's past. Hours passed without success. Just as she was about to give up, another message arrived from the same unknown number. This time, it contained only one sentence and an address across town. If you really want to know who your best friend is, come here tomorrow at 4 p.m. Come alone. Zara stared at the screen until dawn. Every instinct warned her not to go. Yet another voice inside whispered that ignoring the invitation might leave her trapped inside a lie forever. By morning, she had already made her decision, but she told no one, not even her husband. The address led Zara to a quiet cafe tucked away on a nearly empty street. It wasn't the kind of place Amaka would ever choose, which made Zara even more nervous. She arrived 15 minutes early, scanning every face through the glass windows before stepping inside. A waiter approached without asking her name and silently pointed toward a table at the far corner. Sitting there was the same man from the wedding photograph. He removed his sunglasses slowly, revealing tired eyes that carried years of regret. Before Zara could speak, he quietly said, "I've been waiting a long time to meet you." Every alarm inside her mind went off at once. She demanded to know who he was and why he had been watching her wedding. Instead of answering immediately, the stranger slid an old photograph across the table. The picture showed 3 children standing together during a primary school graduation ceremony. Zara recognized herself instantly. Beside her stood a younger Amaka. But there was also a third child, a skinny boy with messy hair and an unmistakable smile. The man sitting across her tapped the boy's face gently. "That's me," he said. "My name is Michael. We all grew up together before my family moved away." Zara frowned, struggling to remember him. Then, Michael leaned forward and lowered his voice. "Amaka has been planning this revenge since we were children. She didn't lose Daniel to you. She handed him to you." Zara's breathing became shallow. Before she could ask another question, Michael added words that made her blood run cold. The engagement was never real. Daniel was only the first part of her plan. Michael took a deep breath before revealing a story Zara had completely forgotten. 20 years earlier, during an inter-school sports competition,
Zara and Amaka had entered a relay race together. Moments before the final event, one of the teachers announced that only one student could represent the school in a prestigious national scholarship program. Both girls desperately wanted the opportunity. According to Michael, Amaka believed Zara secretly convinced the teachers to choose her instead. The scholarship changed Zara's education forever, while Amaka was forced to remain behind. What Zara never knew was that Amaka's father had already promised the entire family that winning the scholarship would solve their financial struggles. When Amaka lost, her father blamed her relentlessly for years, insisting she had failed the family. Michael explained that although Zara never intentionally caused any of it, Amaka convinced herself that every hardship afterward began with that single day.
Zara shook her head repeatedly, tears filling her eyes. She remembered the scholarship now, but she had never applied for it herself. Her class teacher had submitted her name without even telling her beforehand. She had no idea Amaka wanted it too. "I would have refused it if I'd known," Zara whispered. Michael nodded sadly. "I know that, but Amaka never believed you." Then he reached into his backpack and removed a small voice recorder. "There's something else you need to hear." Before pressing play, he looked directly into Zara's eyes. "After hearing this recording, you'll understand why she wanted you to marry Daniel." Zara swallowed hard as Michael pressed the play button. The recording began with Amaka's unmistakable voice laughing softly before saying, "The day she realizes why I gave him to her, it will destroy her completely." The cafe suddenly felt too small for Zara to breathe. Michael pressed the voice recorder closer to the middle of the table as Amaka's voice filled the silence. There was no mistaking it. She sounded calm, confident, almost amused. "Daniel isn't the punishment," she said, with a quiet laugh. "He's only the beginning. Zara believes she's the lucky one because she gets everything people admire. She got the scholarship, she got the praise, she got the life everyone wanted. Now she'll get the husband too. And when she finally discovers why I pushed them together, she'll realize I never lost anything. She accepted exactly what I wanted her to have." The recording ended with another soft laugh that echoed painfully inside Zara's head. Her hands trembled so badly that she nearly dropped the recorder. The woman she had trusted like a sister had spent years preparing this moment, smiling through birthdays, graduations, heartbreaks, and finally, her wedding, all while waiting for the perfect time to strike. Michael watched Zara struggle to process everything before speaking again. "I found that recording by accident 6 months ago," he admitted. "Amaka didn't know I was standing outside her office when she was talking to someone on the phone. At first, I thought she was joking, but then I started watching her. That's why I came to your wedding. I hoped I'd get a chance to warn you before it was too late." Zara's eyes filled with tears, not only because of Amaka's betrayal, but because she realized how blind she had been. Every cancelled date, every encouraging conversation, every hug before the wedding suddenly looked different. None of it had been kindness, it had been choreography. Yet, one question refused to leave her mind. She looked at Michael and asked quietly, "What exactly am I supposed to discover?" Instead of answering, Michael pushed a brown envelope across the table. "Because the answer isn't with me," he whispered, "it's with your husband." The drive home felt endless. Zara held the unopened envelope tightly on her lap, fighting the urge to tear it open before reaching the house. Every traffic light felt like torture. Every passing minute allowed fear to grow larger. By the time she unlocked the front door, her heart was pounding so violently she could barely hear Daniel calling her name from the living room. He immediately noticed something was wrong and stood up, concern written all over his face. Without saying a word, Zara placed the envelope on the coffee table. Daniel looked at it once,
then closed his eyes. The expression on his face told her everything before he spoke. He recognized it.
Slowly, Daniel sat down and covered his face with both hands. He said quietly, "I prayed this day would never come." Zara felt the room spin around her. "Tell me the truth," she demanded, "right now." After several painful seconds of silence, Daniel finally looked into her eyes, tears already forming. "Before I met you," he confessed, "Amaka told me everything she wanted me to believe about you. She said you were selfish, manipulative, that you had ruined her life since childhood. She wanted me to make you fall in love with you, marry you, and then leave you on the day you became pregnant." Zara stopped breathing. Daniel continued through tears. That was her revenge. He admitted that he agreed at first because he believed Amaka's version of events, but everything changed once he truly got to know Zara. The kind, honest woman he met was nothing like the person Amaka had described. Somewhere along the way, pretending became impossible. He genuinely fell in love with her. He ended his arrangement with Amaka months before proposing, believing she had finally moved on. He never imagined she was still waiting.
Zara's world collapsed under the weight of the confession. The love story she had treasured had begun as a calculated act of revenge. Yet, the man standing before her wasn't pretending anymore. His tears were real. His guilt was real. His love seemed painfully real. Before Zara could decide whether to forgive him or walk away forever, someone knocked loudly at the front door. Daniel slowly opened it. Standing outside was Amaka. She wasn't crying. She wasn't angry. She was smiling. She looked directly at Zara and calmly said, "So, he finally told you the first half of the story." Then, she lifted a small pregnancy scan from her handbag, placed it gently into Zara's trembling hands and whispered, "Now, let me tell you why your marriage was never the real revenge."